Alright, it's my last full day in Taiwan, and I want to scratch a few things off the list today. One of the major ones is I really want to try one of these Gogoro scooters. They are an impressive electric scooter that I've been seeing absolutely everywhere. I've been getting passed by them, by families sitting on them, and they have hot swappable batteries, and it's a cool system. It's an interesting system, and I'd like to try it out. Also, on today's docket is trying out the 7-Eleven sweet potato breakfast potato. I'm excited about it. Oh, buttery. Buttery. Convenience store potato. Who knew? Couldn't decide, so I got them both.
I'm hitting up a scooter rental spot to rent a Gogoro scooter. You can rent it from a lot of different rental shops. It's really not that impressive. The scooter itself is fine. It's not that impressive. But what is super cool is the battery and the infrastructure to charge those batteries. Gogoro has been around on the roads of Taiwan since 2015, and in the 10 years, they now have over 2,000 charging stations in the city of Taipei alone. These things are freaking everywhere. So let's go explore Taipei. So you'll notice in general that in Asia, the roads are a lot narrower than you'll see in Canada. They're narrow because they're not really car-centric necessarily, but Taiwan is different. It has scooter-centric road design. This is a scooter on-ramp for a scooter highway over a bridge. This is completely isolated from car traffic, and yes, bicycles can use it, but it's kind of sketchy to be on a bicycle on this thing. This is really a scooter thing. I have never seen anything like this. Alright, this is the part I'm actually excited for. I need to charge these batteries. I got the scooter, it was only half full, and I decided to hit up a charging station only about 20 kilometers later down the road. These scooters have a range of 65 kilometers, give or take, and the charging stations are super easy. You just yank out a battery, stuff it in a hole, and it spits out another battery at you. And then you put it in and you drive away. No login, no credit card, no nothing. This is faster than fueling up the scooter with gasoline. Now, yes, the range is only 65 clicks, so it is kind of an urban thing, but Taiwan's a small island, and these Gogoro charging stations are, like I said, everywhere.
This fine gentleman over here, struggling with his dinghy that's currently buried in the ground, is Dr. George McKay. Probably the most influential Westerner to Taiwan, and he's a Canadian. He's actually from just down the street from where I'm from. He was a Presbyterian missionary who came here in the late 19th century, and along with his missionary work, he also did a hell of a lot of free dental work, and he also did a lot of work fighting for the rights of the local Kavalan indigenous people, and helped them create a Romanicized alphabet spelling, basically, for their, at that point, spoken language. Yeah, there's quite a lot of history with this guy, but it's kind of cool to see a statue to a Canadian here in Taiwan. In another note, and a thing I think George would really agree with here, is there's a bridal dress that he had made by the Kavalan people, and it's currently in the Royal Ontario Museum. And the Kavalan people, here would like to see it and have it and use it to continue their traditions and rebuild their culture a little bit. And it's sitting in a museum in Ontario where no one there seems to really give a shit. So it should definitely be here with the Catalan people. I think George would agree with me on that. Wow. Thank you. Quick little lunch with the halal chicken wrap. It's pretty good. It's got a curry taste to it. I really wish it had some sumac onions and some pickles and some pickled radish, and basically I wish it was a shawarma, but it was pretty good. It's just missing that tartness, Welcome to Hob Fort, or Fort Hob. This fort was built after the French-Sino War when the French managed to invade Keelung, and the Qing dynasty was like, okay, well, we need some actual forts and some actual defense of Taiwan, and they built this fort along with a few others up and down the coast. We've been to a lot of the locations where some of the other ones were built, but what's interesting is Taiwan fell to the Japanese without ever actually using this fort. That was the next war, right? So these impressive gun emplacements never really got to get used. And the giant Armstrong guns they had here, breech loading monsters. So they were able to sink ships in harbor from here. It's pretty wild. Artillery in the 1880s was something else. These tunnels are freaky. Is this gonna turn on? Oh, there we go. It's terrifying. Into the dark. Hello. Okay, there's been motion sensors this whole time. Not here. Nope, not doing that.
Ruh-roh.
Damn, this camera has really good low light performance. It's not actually this bright. How was supposed to fit through that door? Man. Zihan and the Royal Palace. Let's do some little historical, beautiful walkabout. whole time I'm in there, all I could think about is how small everything is, and how that's probably because everything that's in there was taken at the end of the Civil War. Yesterday we saw models of 2 ships. Those ships are the ships that brought all of this stuff from mainland China at the end of the Civil War. They just ransacked everything and took everything they possibly could with them, anything that wasn't bolted down, and that's what you see in the museum now. So all of that fit into 2 ships and they hauled it all over here. It's kind of wild. And I am a Canadian. I have, not a huge, terrible grasp on the history of this place, but it does seem a little odd to be looking at everything from another country, in another country. It always kind of sits with me a little weird. Anyway, I'm getting real hungry. All of this historicizing has made me hungry, so I'm going to twist the throttle on my cute electric scooter and go find some food. Okay, this is my review after a day of messing about on Taiwan's new electric scooter. They have a few different models. I'm sure there's a bigger one, but this one has terrible leg space and not very much storage space inside either, because the batteries eat up all of that in-between space. So, how does it drive? Well, there's a tiny bit of hesitation right at the start because it's an electric motor that's tuned for higher speeds, and so when you first twist the throttle, it's like lethargic for like half a second, and then it's right off the line, right? And I have no trouble keeping up with all the 125, 180cc scooters out there. It'll do damn near 100. Yeah, I don't know. The performance-wise is really, really good, and it looks like they've sacrificed the range for the performance. So that range is a claimed like 70 kilometers, and you probably will be a little bit less than that, but it does have regen. I mean, it's a vehicle. It's a full car, and then swapping the batteries is the real trick. So going into those stations, they're all over the place. I wish they had a Google integration for it, which I didn't find for my Google Maps. I had to load a secondary app for that, and then the mapping wasn't so great, plus it was all in Chinese, and I struggled with that. So, but it took like, 10-15 seconds to swap the batteries. I'm pretty sure I can swap the batteries on this faster than you can fill the gas on one of the gas ones. It's really fantastic. Of course, that means you're limited by where they've installed stations, and there are stations all over Taiwan, but I did notice the more rural I went, the less of these I saw. But in the city, man, this is like 1 in every 20 scooters is one of these Gogoros. They're amazing. They're really taking over. And in a place like this, it makes a lot of sense. And I get that you live in blah, 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 and it doesn't make sense. I don't care. It's cool. This is cool. Okay? And the scooters are really noisy. It'd be really cool if we got to have fun and messing around on scooters, and it was like quiet and pleasant, and I didn't have to breathe 2-stroke smoke and fumes all day long. That's all I'm saying. The batteries come on a subscription, and the price of the scooter is roughly the same price as a 125cc brand new scooter. These things have only been around for a little bit more than 5 years now, so it's quite impressive that they've made that big of a dent that quickly. And I think it just goes to show with the electrics, as soon as it hits that critical point where it does everything the gas one does, but better, suddenly it starts making sense. Suddenly it starts taking over. And yeah, this guy's taking over. It's only going to get better anyway, right? It's cool. I like it. First stop of the evening is Yijiazi, which is a Michelin recommended spot, and it's well worth the wait. Bit of a lineup, but I had a braised pork over rice that is One of the best meals of this trip so far, for sure. It is spectacular. These adjectives are getting dull. I've said them too many times, but that pork is just literally melting away in your mouth. And the rice underneath is perfect. The cucumber brings a nice refreshment. And that is the most intensely, divinely seasoned tofu I have ever had in my life. All of it dripping in a deep, dark, smoky sauce that is just the first thing that catches you right away. It is so deep, it is so complex, and it's so good.
This has been an amazing day. I've had so much great food, seen so many beautiful sights, and learned so much about Taiwan. The Gogoro scooters made that a lot easier and a lot nicer, and I think it's a serious upgrade on the gas scooters in the area, and as long as they can continue to push the boundaries of that range, it's only going to get better. I would love to see something like this happen in my country, but I think that it takes a level of infrastructure, both from the company and from the country in general, that I don't think Canada is willing to pull off. In the meantime, I'll be back to Taiwan sometime soon, I'm sure. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for those of you sponsoring on Patreon. We'll be posting another episode on the boat on Friday. See you then.